I am doing this without a script because why not? What's the worst that could happen? Let's not imagine that. Why is July the 19th important to me? Why is July the 19th important to me? Because pretty much 10 years ago, what happened was there was a kind of whole family fracas. Good word. But 2 weeks before July the 19th in 2014, my old man had made a household rule because for like many months, I had been doing kind of kitchen stuff, cooking my meal. You know, we were all eating different food stuffs back then. Maybe not like different diets, but eating at different times. I was always finished in the kitchen, which is kind of food prep, food eating, and a bit of food tidying up, though not a lot. OCD. Whilst I have OCD, tidying up after myself is quite difficult. It is. I should know. I was there. I am. I was there. I remember being there. You know, if you can't trust the eye of the storm, who can you trust? Anyway, getting bogged down in stuff. What was happening was, I was always finished in the kitchen by 10. I don't know what that is. That's probably some member of my family who's sensing that their ears are burning and they know I'm talking about them. Well, you can't stop me talking about you. But I was always done in the kitchen by 10. My younger brother was cooking a lot of meat in the years before he went very vegan, and now he's eating a lot of meat again. The stuff about my family that I think I can regale you with. There's some things I will say and there's some things I won't say. I'm not going to reveal anywhere near as much as maybe I'd like to, or etc. But my younger brother was kind of cooking steaks at about midnight, filling the house with smells of meat. And what my old man said was that nobody should cook in the kitchen after 11 o'clock at night. And then he also said that he wasn't going to write down that rule. That there's a long history. There's a long history in my family of rule making and it looking like I've broken rules. I've never. I don't break rules. If you make them, I stick to them. If you make them, I stick to them. It's true. But if you can't remember your own rules, don't treat me like an asshole when I do exactly what's been asked of me, but you can't remember what you asked me. So yeah, it's like that. But so my old man said, don't cook in the kitchen, no cooking after 11 o'clock at night. And he refused to write it down. He promised me that he would remember. He promised me that, it should have been a rule that was just for my younger brother, but for the sake of fairness, he dragged me into the rule as well, and neither of us were allowed to uh, cook after 11 o'clock at night. Things were relatively quiet for a fortnight. Obviously, behind the scenes, or in a way, behind the scenes, my old man forgot the rule, and on July the 19th, 2014, on a night when it was just me and my old man in the house, I got a lasagna out of the oven at 10:20, just under 45 minutes before I was house legally supposed to stop all cooking activity, and all atheistic hell broke loose. Breaking a rule in the family house was one of the worst things you could do, because it meant that it showed you didn't care. It showed you didn't give a little shit. No, it meant you were a little shit, and it meant that you didn't care a flying peanut about anything. And my old man just collapsed on me. Not like literally. That's happened at a later time. I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm okay-ish. But he came down on me like a ton of bricks and was just absolutely furious, going on and on. You've broken the rule. You've broken the rule. I'm really disappointed in you that you've broken it. I hadn't broken the rule. But there you go. And he in continuing fury, he drove me to the local hospital. Didn't want anything to do with me. We were probably gonna have. We've never been two-way kind of physical with each other. I have my OCD, which means I'm not physically angry towards people. I'm a kind of, I punch walls, I punch doors, throw plates out windows, stuff like that. But I don't actually hit people when I get angry with them. But he didn't want me in the house, so he drove me in a fit of pique to the local hospital and basically tried to Shanghai me there. I ran after the car, jumped in front of it, sort of punching the bonnet, yelling at him to stop, and I threatened to strip naked on the forecourt of a petrol station. By this point, the police had been called, and I was police sectioned. For coming up from about 23:45, so as it was turning, just before it turned midnight, I got put in a cell on my own in Crawley Police Station because the mental health cool down place, the place that could have had a room, didn't have a room. There were no rooms available at the mental health support facility. So I, sorry. I had to be locked up in a police cell. I was in a police cell for about I don't know, for an unbroken stretch of about 23 hours. They never turn the lights out in that prison cell, and I am light sensitive. I am light sensitive to this day. So, and all of this happened because at 20 past 10, I took a lasagna out the oven and was treated as a criminal, and I was seen as guilty for creating an enormous family fandango. I was seen as partially responsible. For creating that. Like, I had my part to play in it, etc., etc., etc. And yeah, so, you know, and it's why I ended up surviving in Hastings. It's why I ended up at the mercy of people who were paid to treat me like an animal, because I was. And, you know, that's what I had to do. I had to become somebody who now has the twisted privilege of saying to people, oh yeah, I survived 702 days of institutional abuse on the... I mean, again, I don't even... Some people say that Hastings is actually Kent, so it could have been the Kent coast, it could have been the Sussex coast. I don't know. To a degree, I don't really care, because I didn't live in Hastings for 702 days. I survived there. But yeah, in a nutshell, that's why July the 19th is important to me, and one of my kind of core event, like canon event. It's fundamental to who I is, but it was no fun at all at the time, and it created no fun for me, and really it's not a lot of fun to remember. So there you go. That's the truth. And in the end, we're all fact. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Boing. Hang on a second. Drat!